everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave,
And I'm Don.
and it's just the two of us tonight. It's the way we like it, nice and private. Uh,
Oh, I was going to say
but
like an old Will Smith song, but you took it there.
but we do have some stuff to talk about tonight. In fact, here is what we have on deck for tonight. So we're going to talk some comics because we don't do that enough on this show. Absolute Wonder Woman tops sales for the uh, last week, the top selling book last week. There's also some other stuff I want to talk about with the DC Absolute books. Um, David Pepos, a friend of the show, is rebooting Captain Planet. Um, Kind of interested in that. Kind of excited. It's coming out, I think, this month from Dynamite. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And of course, there are some Spider Man 4 rumors. And the main topic tonight, of course, is Daredevil Born Again. We got the premiere 2 episodes dropped yesterday on Disney Plus. So that is what we will be talking about. Are we excited about all of that there, Don?
Absolutely. Super excited. Excited indeed.
Ah. So what have you been anything new with you since Sunday? Anything good, bad, and different?
Yeah, actually it was a really good week, except for today. Work just sucked and it was my fault. So like, when work sucks, it's like, oh, but when it sucks because like you did it really hits different. But
Mm.
that aside, I got my controller back from PlayStation.
Ah.
And actually, it was funny because, like, as soon as I got the notice that they received it, like a couple hours later, I got a notice that they sent it. So I was like, oh, they repaired that fast as fuck. But turns out they just gave me another controller because I had a skin on it. Well, I have another one on this one, but it came back, it was off. So I was like, okay.
Ah.
So there you have it.
Okay.
But yeah, so we can get into the Marvel rivals without
Uh,
my left stick drift. The old Tokyo drift is gone. So excited about that.
it's funny because where's mine? I just had it. Um,
Uh-oh.
it's probably it's over there. Um, I actually started playing an older game, not that old, God of War Ragnarok. And
Oh.
I
I
played
played the
the
last God of War, but not that one yet.
yeah, I was about to say I played the last one and I beat it. And um my son, it was free, I think, with the PlayStation Network. It was one of the downloads this month, so he downloaded it. And I'm like, ooh, I want to play that. And I thought he had already like played it and beat it. And
Hmm.
no, he played like the beginning of it and it hasn't gotten back to it yet. So I'm a lot farther than he is. It's just kind of exciting for me.
Nice.
um yeah, so I'm actually looking into right now because with how I do it, uh boys and girls, is I use the remote play on my laptop, and the controller's Bluetooth, so it'll connect right to the laptop. But obviously the PlayStation sits in his room and it's connected to the network. Um But doing that, I should be able, I'm trying to figure that out, is use StreamYard and stream it like we do with all our other media, have it in a window, and I can be on screen too while I stream it. So I'm gonna spend some time tomorrow trying to figure that out. And if I can get that figured out, we can probably do that with Rivals as well. So um yeah, so look forward to all of that fun streaming stuff coming from us. But yeah, but other than that, I just work was busy and went out with the girlfriend last night. Everything went well, and now all of a sudden today, and I know it has nothing to do with me. She's just in a pissy mood, but every time she texts me, it's like, "What?" You could just like there's a tone. You know how that is when your woman is upset at something else, but is taking it out on you. That never happens to
Yeah.
you, right,
That's
Don?
the it does. I mean, I'm often the source of the frustration, absolutely. But when it's not you and she's still aggravated, you're like, well, what the hell?
Right, right.
I didn't
So,
earn this one.
yep. And I
Oh,
also wanted to just say real quick off the top of the at the top of the show, I know it's 8 o'clock tonight. We're still trying to figure out the time slot for Wednesdays. Um, uh, and it's funny because I don't think we thought this through, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Trust me. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching this after the fact because they're gonna be like, "What? They did a show at 8 o'clock last night?" So, but we're getting there. We're
that's why
getting
you
there.
got to be a subscriber and have the notifications on, Dave.
Well, that is
You know,
true. That is true. Also, hang out in our Discord, and I did post that we were doing this had a half hour ago, but I still posted it. So it was surprise. We're live tonight. Um,
it's okay. We're trying to hit the people to search engine. I mean, we love all our regulars, and we hope you're here. We
yes,
hope you join. But and we need your word of mouth. But outside of that, we just really hope you got some new people here. Welcome,
yes,
Superhero Speak
yes.
Show.
That is actually something I wanted to say as well, and I'm going to start harping on this. We're a podcast, and the best way for us to get new viewers is for you to tell people about us. So if you're watching this and you like the show, share it. Sharing is caring. So, so
Share and
do,
share alike.
yes, so do that for us, and that would really help out a lot to get the show out there. So, all right, I you know what? I did have an inappropriate joke and I forgot it. So we won't worry about that this week or this today. Um,
You might
I'm
get
gonna,
there naturally.
like, yeah, exactly. Like, we'll get there naturally. You're full of them. Um, in fact, speaking of being full of stuff, we told you sharing is caring, and I'm sure you're wondering where else can you find more superhero speak. Well, here's Darth Don to tell you more.
Darth Don here. And you must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gundark named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
Hey, welcome, Christopher. Thank you. You're watching us tonight instead of Dynamite. So,
Indeed. Thank
yes,
you.
yes, we're competing against some things tonight. It's in the nerd world. Hey, look, I found it. See, proof. I do play.
Nice. All right. No, we'll definitely be able to stream that. The only problem I think is if you do it through StreamYard, you're not going to have your sound. So we
Yeah.
can talk about it offline, but there's a better way we could do it. You just might need to download something. But
All right. So that is. You know what? I'm gonna skip all the other fanfare. You just said it in that little video. We don't need to repeat it. I have a tendency to repeat what you just said, and I'm gonna stop doing that. So, with that being said, we can jump right into the nerd news. So, this is one of the things I did want to talk about this week. Comic books. Come on, this is our bread and butter. Absolute Wonder Woman #5 snagged the top spot according to the Bleeding Cool bestsellers list, narrowly surpassing Ultimate Spider-Man #14. This doesn't surprise me because I really enjoy the Absolute books. Like, there's some of the best stuff DC's done in a while. What are you shocked at all by this, or
I wouldn't say I'm shocked because I know that the Absolute Universe in general has definitely gotten traction with its fans. And I
Mhm.
think it's actually a wonderful opportunity for DC because here they have people that, they like this Absolute Universe.
Yeah.
So they can kind of stay in this universe. And then when that gets stale, they can just find a way to reboot it back to the not Absolute Universe and then go from there. So this is exciting to see a DC title up there with the Spider-Mans and the X-Men's of the world. Um, I think it's a great opportunity. I'm a Marvel guy, X-Men in particular, but I don't hate DC, and I want them to do well because I want them to drive
Right.
the people the books I would really like to be a part of that I'm not X-Men in particular. You know, competition drives performance, so
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, these books are great. They're well reviewed. Everyone loves them. We love them. Um, and I wanted to point something else out. Once I saw that, I started looking into the numbers, and these are the top 5 from February. And so, Absolute Batman #5, One World Under Doom, Absolute Superman #4, Ultimate Wolverine #2, and Ultimates #9.
Yeah, I
What
mean, so like the alternate universes are kind of taking top
Mhm.
spot here.
Yep. That's what I wanted to point out. I think this is proving to be a good move on both, publishers' parts because they're reintroducing the characters with new origins, and it's easy for new readers to jump in at those points, and I think that's paying off dividends here. Um,
Yeah.
I haven't read any of the new Ultimate books. I know you have read the Ultimate Wolverine books. Um,
I've even read some of the Ultimate X-Men. I really didn't like it. I thought I didn't like the pacing. This
okay,
One World Under Doom, I actually read that. I don't know if it's one that you could really jump on, but
okay.
I mean, what the fuck can you say? It's Sorcerer Supreme Doom riding a Doom armored clad Tyrannosaurus Rex, just
Right.
owning everybody. Very heavy on the, I guess, progressive agenda, but that's neither here nor there really. It makes sense. So yeah, but all in all though, but even that, the One World Under Doom, that is not in the regular Marvel universe. That is in a universe that the maker, aka Evil Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe,
Yep.
is a reality that he made where there's no heroes.
Right.
Or there was prevented heroes. At least that's what the ultimate stuff. So anyway, but yeah, the non-mainline books here are seeing a resurgence,
Yeah.
and because, like you said, you just don't need all that weight of what came before.
Yeah, yeah. No, and it's funny because when I looked at the list, I think the only book that was in the top 10 was Batman, which is consistently
Yeah,
in the
Batman,
top
right?
yeah, in the top 10.
Batman
So,
and X-Men and
yep,
Spider-Man
right. But yeah,
are
so
always there.
right, but again, like the top 5 spots for last month are all alternate universe books and people are digging them. And I say more of that. Let's keep getting more and more readers out there, more and more people excited because, I've said this too. The DCU, the DCEU, the MCU, they're still alternate stories. They're not the exact origins from the comics.
Yeah,
They're modernized. They're told in a different way, and they work. So yeah, I mean, people dig alternate universes. So yeah,
and I'm
I'm here
sorry, I'm
for it.
wrong. One World Under Doom is not in the Ultimate verse. I caught myself there. That's not in the
Ah,
universe. That is actually like a 616 thing.
uh,
No, it's like Ultimate Wolverine, but that is for sure.
you're You're
I'm messing up all over the place today, Dave.
you're you know what? Your pay is gonna be cut. I don't know,
Oh,
cut a percentage of nothing, but
yeah, about to say that you're gonna get a Devo error on that one, but okay, yeah.
all right.
I don't like that word.
Uh-oh. The doggies are saying hello. Um, moving on. Were you a
Quiet. Sorry.
you forgot to hit the mute button. Were you a Captain Planet fan growing up?
I don't know if I was a fan. I remember thinking it's kind of lame, but I also was thinking like, but what the fuck else am I gonna watch right now? It's at least a superhero
Yeah.
type thing. So, I guess sure.
John was always a big Captain Planet fan. It's part of the reason this caught my eye, but also because David Pepos, who we love basically everything he writes, is writing this book. And I read an interview with him, and he has been trying to get this book done for, I think, 10 years, he said. And
Yeah.
finally, Dynamite got the rights to it. They announced they had the rights to Captain Planet at San Diego Comic-Con, where he was in attendance. He went right over to the Dynamite booth and was like, "All right, I'm writing it." And, you know, here we
Okay.
are. Um,
Well, there you go.
One of the things he said in this interview that caught my eye was, and the dots means I this isn't the exact quote. I removed some of it just to get the
Yeah.
the gist of what he was saying. But he said it's all about trying to treat Captain Planet with the respect they deserve. I wanted to approach this book like an epic adventure, really planting this firmly in the world outside our window in the year 2025. So I find that interesting as well. So, because we live in a world where everyone talks about the environment more so than they did in the 90s when this came out. I mean, it's always been a topic, but I mean, it feels like it's
Yeah.
pushed more today than it was then. So it makes sense. I feel like it's a topic that hits with people. But the idea here too is, if you read the thing, this is years later. Like, the kids are all adults in the book, and
Yeah.
obviously Captain Planet is different. He's got a beard now, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a more mature version, but it's a little slightly more serious take with a lot of camp thrown in here and there, is what he said in the
Okay.
interview. So I don't know. I mean, I say we've got to check this one out because I haven't read something from him I haven't liked. I
Okay.
don't know. What do you think? You gonna check it out or?
I mean, I'm sure, and I mean, as long as we get a copy or whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna go buy it. But just for curiosity, I'm having a hard time connecting the dots because if we were gonna put it in the world outside our window in the year 2025, and we talk about like pollution and carbon emission and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So does that mean Captain America? It's just going to be Captain Planet versus China? Um, or like
Well,
protecting the Chernobyl, site in Ukraine from the Russian invasion. Like, I mean, but you said it's going to be
here's
campy. So okay, then how do you do that? So
all right. I'm gonna steer into a direction here that maybe previously we wouldn't have been able to. Will there be, and then this is a question that maybe I'll have to ask him directly, David, that is. Will there be any allusion to he failed at his mission, right? Because here we are 30 years later, and we're still talking about polluting the environment and carbon emissions and all that stuff. And, you
making poor
know,
people mine lithium and cobalt.
right. Like, will they address that side of the topic? I think they should. And you can get away with that more, I think, in comics than you can in a cartoon as well. And I think, and you don't even have to do it in an extremely downtrodden, difficult like, oh my god, I'm a failure type way, but you can at least address it. I mean, maybe you address it to say that something happened and he like hasn't been around all this time, and they're bringing him back because something happens. I don't know, man. I'm so see
Yeah,
you
what
can
if because he gets summoned by the 5 rings with the kids, right?
right,
But
right,
what if he does something to the point where like, oh fuck it, we're not summoning this guy anymore.
yeah.
Because he's like the Don Cheadle version. Have you ever seen the Don Cheadle Captain Planet? Where he just goes ape shit and starting turning everybody into trees? Tell me you've
Uh,
seen that, Dave.
no, I can't say
Oh
that
my
I
god.
have.
Ah. Oh, I tried to get a clip. I just ran out. God damn it. Okay. It's funny as fuck.
All right, I'll have to check it out. I mean, I'm sure it's on the internet. I'll find it.
It's on
Um,
YouTube. Don
oh,
Cheadle Captain Planet. You'll go right to it.
okay, okay. I'll look it up after we're done here. Um, all right. So yeah, I think it could be interesting. We'll see. I'll definitely check it out one way or the other. I mean, he might send us a copy. He sent us books before, so
Captain
um
Planet. He's a hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. That's 30 years ago. We're not down to zero.
all right.
False advertising.
Now we need to talk about a couple of Spider-Man 4 rumors that have been floating around lately. This one has gained a little bit of steam, and I've seen a few people talking about it. Spider-Man 4 will be a direct sequel to Avengers Doomsday, which makes sense because we talked about an article not that long ago where they're saying there'll be more of a relationship between Peter and Doom than Reed and Doom in the movie. I guess playing off the whole Iron Man Peter relationship. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you think about that idea?
I think it's a trash idea
Okay, why is that?
because it's not. Again, we're already on the thin fucking ice thing as far as Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom.
Yeah.
But now you're saying this relationship that he should have with Reed Richards, which is epic, by the
Hmm.
way,
Yeah.
which, Secret Wars, the thing that this is all fucking kind of being based off of, which, goddamn, I can't believe it was almost 20 years ago, was a Reed Richards versus Victor Von Doom thing.
Yep.
I'm an old fogey, but I'm an old fogey that does recognize this is a different universe and it can't be the same as the comics. But being that old fogey, if you deviate from the comics and it doesn't make sense, I get aggravated. And I'm starting to get aggravated. That's my
Oh,
take.
yeah. I my worry is that it is typical MCU shenanigans where instead of giving us like at the end of No Way Home, they gave us a reset Peter Parker to a street level hero, and I kind of wanted a movie where he's a
Hmm.
street level hero. But now we're pulling him into Doomsday, so
Yeah.
back into the cosmic crap again, and then we're gonna make Spider-Man 4 another world-ending event, and it's just like, no, give me Spider-Man in the red and blue classic costume like they showed me at the end of the movie. That's what I was wanted, but I
So how
don't.
would you feel then? Which I mean, you kind of already answered this question, but like, I guess think about this. What if this somehow lands him into like the cosmic Spider-Man shit? Like that ultimate fucking Spider-Man version of him, which
You mean
because we're going into Doomsday, we might need.
you mean like the version where he had the Beyonders powers?
Yeah, yeah,
I wasn't a big fan of that run,
sure.
so yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Definitely not quintessential Spider-Man in my book.
I have never
There.
liked. I'm an Avengers fan and I'm a Spider-Man fan. I've never been a fan of Spider-Man and the Avengers, and like
Hmm.
that's a big thing in the MCU. So I
Yeah, I
don't
know.
know.
Spider-Man really works more with the X-Men than the Avengers. I mean,
Yeah,
that's changed since whenever, but I guess in the classic 616.
and it's kind of related to the what we're saying is kind of related to the other rumor is that Sami Liao. I don't know if I said that right. I apologize if I said it wrong. His Shang-Chi may return in Spider-Man 4. So, like,
No one's looking for that. And I liked Shang-Chi as much as I
so
still hate their version of Mandarin, but I actually did like that movie.
so the funny thing is he was on I think the Tonight Show or one of those, Jimmy Kimmel or something,
Yeah.
and he was asked directly about this and he's like, "Oh no, I haven't talked to anyone." Which, let's be honest, every time one of these stars deny it completely, they end up being in the movie. But
Yeah, because they got like a Disney Predator, with like the 3-dot sight just aimed at them the whole time while they're on these talk shows, right? Like, just don't fucking spoil it or we'll, you
but
know.
but Shang-Chi should also be a street level hero, right? So like
Yeah, they know they really power scaled him
so like
in the
to
movie.
me to me that would like Shang-Chi and Spider-Man teaming up to fight, street level or even like gangster kingpin level stuff. Yeah, that would be great. Don't give me any more cosmic crap with Spider-Man, but I don't think we're gonna have a choice. We'll see. Again, these are rumors. These haven't been
Yeah.
confirmed one way or the other. We don't know anything yet. Obviously, Spider-Man 4 is coming out after Doomsday, so we don't know what it's going to look like. But I'm also curious if you're watching the show now or you're watching it after the fact. Have you heard any rumors about Spider-Man 4 that maybe we should talk about? Because um, obviously, Spidey's part of the show. I'm a big fan. He's my favorite character, so I'll talk anything Spider-Man. Uh, all right, and then oh, that's it. That's our last news article. Jeez, I gave a spoiler to where we're going. Um, not really. So,
Yeah. Figured
all
that.
that being said, you know what? Let us do real quick. Take a quick commercial break and come back with our main topic.
Hey, Spidey, isn't Marvel's new Pizzazz magazine fantastic?
Fantastic, but not perfect.
But Pizzazz has the lowdown on Jaws, too, and more Sean Cassidy picks than his mother. It's sensational.
Sensational, but not perfect.
How about Pizzazz's Goofy Guide to TV? It's wild look at sci-fi movies. It's games, puzzles, comics. What could be more perfect?
Me on the cover, not the Hulk.
Pizzazz, the almost perfect new monthly from the off-the-wall gang at Marvel Comics.
All right. I'm going to say this again before we get into Daredevil. If you have a podcast and you would like us to advertise it on the show, send us an ad. We will run it. We are always willing to promote other podcasts for free that is not charged. So yeah, we're looking for some new ads. Randy, if you're watching, send us a new Cult 45 ad, and anyone else, we shall see. All right. I think, Don, before we really talk about the show, we should get an idea of what it's about. Oop.
We all have many sides. Good, bad. It's not that simple.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature.
The only difference between hero and villain, salvation and destruction, is which side you're on.
All right. So we both had a chance to watch the premiere. I watched both episodes. I assume you watched both episodes as well, Don.
Yep.
So real quick, we'll definitely the what you call it, the spoilers are going to fly, but real quick, a little bit non-spoiler. What did you think of the premiere episodes?
I thought they were good. They didn't drive me wild, but I'm not a big Daredevil fan. I'm not a big street level hero fan in general. But I do very much appreciate them bringing over this universe from the Netflix and
Mhm.
maintaining everything because it was popular, and I do think that it fits with the source material.
Yeah.
Because like with She-Hulk, I didn't like the She-Hulk show. It's not because I thought they did anything wrong. I don't like She-Hulk in the comics. So it stood to
Okay.
reason I wouldn't like the show. And you know, it's not that I don't like Daredevil. He's just not really on my radar a whole lot. But with that said, I thought this was very, very good quality. And I honestly think that Marvel is going to out Penguin the Penguin. You know, it's
Yeah, you
almost
said
like
that.
this is like the Penguin, but like imagine if Batman was in the show, the guy we really all want to see. You know, this show gives you that. Now, you know, don't get me wrong, the Penguin gave me drowsy points at times, and between these two episodes, there were some drowsy points for me. You know, here. But overall, I did enjoy it. I thought it was quality. And I'm really glad that J100, my friend, talked me into watching the original Netflix series so that I could really understand the
Mhm.
weight that the beginning scene of the whole series, you know, really brings.
Yes, yes. We'll get into that in a second. Because it shocked me right away, and it doesn't pull any punches, and it is right in your face right away. Like, yeah, remember the Daredevil TV show that was violent and bloody, and
Hmm.
everyone loved? Yeah, we're doing that, and we're actually turning it up a little bit, and yeah, there's no turning back. Um, it's possibly oh, hello, James. Um,
Hola.
it's possibly better than the Netflix show. I don't know yet. I mean, we're 2 episodes in, but I'm loving every second of this show so far. Like, those drowsy
Okay.
moments that I know you're talking about, I love that stuff. That was such good writing. And I'm so glad Kassan is not watching right now because he's gonna tell us we're wrong. It's MCU Drek, but no, this is so well written.
I don't think so. I think he's going to say, Don, you dolt, what the fuck's your problem? This is great.
In fact, it's currently sitting at a critics score of 82% over on Rotten Tomatoes and an audience score of 95%. So everyone is digging this show. It's good. It's really good. It's you know, uh this and Black not Black Widow, sorry. Um WandaVision, best 2 MCU shows, hands down. For
Oh,
complete
okay.
for
Okay.
com- for completely different reasons. So
Sure.
yeah, we'll delve into some spoilers now. So if you haven't watched the premiere just yet, you might want to leave and come back later. If you don't care, then here we go. So this show starts off within the first 5 minutes, killing a character who is still quite alive in the comics too, by the way. Foggy Nelson. So Matt Murdock's best friend. Um, he is killed by Bullseye. Bullseye comes back, and I didn't see this coming at all. He's shot. There's an epic fight between Daredevil and Bullseye.
Mhm.
Bullseye pushes Daredevil pushes him off. It's this show so far in the first 2 episodes is all about, and that little clip that we played, which is the trailer for the show, it's all about the difference between good and bad, good and evil, crossing the line and not crossing the line. And once Daredevil Murdock thought his best friend was just killed by this guy, he crossed the line and pushed Bullseye off the roof to kill him. I mean, let's be honest, right? Like he
Yeah.
pushed him off the roof to kill him, but Bullseye doesn't die. Spoilers. Again, we're in spoilers.
Which is
Um,
very peculiar to me because I don't know a lot about the character Bullseye. I don't know a lot about Bullseye. I just know that yeah, he can like always hit his target and shit.
Yeah.
It really looked like he was dead and some sort of healing factor saved him. Now they don't ever touch on that at all. So I don't know. This is wild speculation that doesn't make sense, but I don't know. I was thrown off by that. I thought he should be dead.
Well, resurrection has kind of been a recurring theme in some of the Daredevil stories.
Sure.
So there might be something to that. In fact, Elektra was killed and has come back, and because of the hand and whatnot.
Hmm.
So let's not let's not rule out that
Yeah.
that there's maybe something going on with Bullseye. In fact, the thing to point out about Bullseye is he isn't a hired assassin. So somebody hired him, and Fisk is denying that he hired him to kill Foggy. Uh, I don't know if that's going to be the twist that you find out he did, or we're going to find out somebody else actually hired him. But of course, him killing I believe it's that event. It's not just Foggy dying, but it's also Matt went over the edge and tried to kill Bullseye that put him into the spot where he's like, all right, I'm hanging up the horns. Like, I'm going to retire as Daredevil. And,
Yeah.
now we
Yeah.
do 1 year later, and he's just Matt Murdock, the lawyer. So,
Yeah. His only superpower is saving on his life bill at that point.
I like this James's comment. It's not that he heals; it's he just hates himself so much he won't die. That is that is a great way to put it. They did such a good job in was it season 2 or season 3? I don't remember when they introduced Bullseye of like um having that aspect of his character that he does hate himself so much. So
But isn't that crazy though? Like, I mean, obviously there's another layer to this because as Bullseye is going through, he's like hurt, he's exhausted, but he's literally killing anybody that he comes across. Like he's fucking limping, barely walking,
yeah,
and he walks into a hallway and starts throwing knives at him. In fact, one of the jokes I like to make about the original Daredevil movie is that like it's all Daredevil fighting in like dark, dirty hallways. And sure enough, in this series, it's minute we're in 10 minutes in, and he's already fighting in a dark, dirty hallway with an ugly look on his face, just like he
well,
did with the other series.
that's the other thing that lets you know like they're sticking to that tone because
Yeah.
there was always a set piece every season with a long drawn out
Yeah.
fight in a hallway, and they did that in the stairwell in this episode, in the first episode. It's like,
Yeah.
yep, we're still here. So yeah, so not only do he gives up being Daredevil, he is just a lawyer now. He has a new partner, and then Karen moves to California because they have a weird will they won't they relationship at the beginning of
Yeah, she is going, and I meant to make like a little graphic for this. Maybe I'll do that, but she is getting my Glass of Haterade award in this series. I'm quickly hating that character. First in the beginning, because they're at that party, and she's like, "Oh, you want to go fuck or whatever," which I'm like, "Oh, geez, come on, what the goddamn." But then after Foggy dies, she's like totally ghosting Matt Murdock, and for what reasons I do not know. So far, as far as my character that I'm drinking haterade on, that's her. Glad you mentioned
so
it. Karen, and her name's even Karen.
hey, that's my girlfriend's name.
I know, I know, I know.
But what I will say is she is a character that is a far departure from the comics because she gets addicted to heroin and dies um, in the comics, and it's pushes Matt over to over the edge, and he goes to try to kill Kingpin in the comics, and then there's a whole thing, and he stops being Daredevil, and then when he decides to come back, that's Daredevil Born Again. So it's so funny because like instead of killing Karen,
Killed
they
Foggy.
killed Foggy. So like it's a juxtaposition. In fact,
Karen a
I
bitch.
I thought it was going to be Karen who's going to get shot. Like, okay, they didn't do the
Yeah.
whole heroin addict thing, but I kind of was like, oh, she's gonna be shot, and it was like, nope, they killed Foggy, and I'm like, I did not see that coming at all.
Right.
Um, James says the kind of self-loathing feels like that he's the other side of the Daredevil coin. They are both self-loathing. One acts in a noble manner to make it through the hallway. The other goes through with malice. Yeah. Um, both are trying to make it through. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's the brilliance of the writing because even in the quiet parts in this show, they're showing the juxtaposition between Kingpin and Matt. Like the Kingpin comes back, he runs for mayor, he wins. Again, that's all canon too. Um, and now it's
On New
like,
Year's Eve, is that a thing? Do they hold mayor elections on New Year's Eve in New York?
well,
Is that a
if you're paying attention, they're telling you that it's a special. They did a recall on the mayor and did a special
Oh,
election,
okay.
and that's
I
you
didn't catch
know,
that.
yeah, yeah. So that because the thing I was getting to, I'm like, because it was really weird that it was New Year's Eve, and then they have all of these interesting scenes where they're out in public. Him and geez, I can't think of the character's name. His love interest in the show. Um,
Vanessa or Veronica, something with a V, I think. Talking about
it is
Kingpin's wife?
no, 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 no.
Oh, okay. Screwed that up.
Um, Heather, Heather Glenn, the psychiatrist,
Oh,
the
yeah, 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 yeah.
Matt's love interest. So they're out and about, and um, hello, Sean, and
Hello, Sean.
and there are New Year's, and there's like all these crowds gathering because Fisk won the election, and that gave me Joker vibes, the first Joker movie.
Mm.
When with the scene at the end when he's in the crowd and there's all that chaos going on, I was like, huh, interesting. I mean, it was well done. And then you have Matt standing in the crowd of all the chaos looking up at Fisk looking down on the city from a rooftop. Like, so many great visuals in this show. I mean, I don't know, am I wrong?
No, no, you're not wrong. I'm just a power porn guy, so I'm not, I can identify what I'm watching and I appreciate it. It's just, you know, yeah, again, street level, it's good. I mean, I'm glad I watched it. It's great. It's Daredevil, so you're not wrong. It's good.
um yeah, and yeah, so I mean, again, we're not going to go over this beat by beat. Go watch it, but like you get um White Tiger's introduced in the show in an interesting way. They show him in news clips in the beginning, and then um Hector, the he's not in costume. He goes down into the subway. There's two guys beating up another guy. He goes to defend the guy getting beat up. The guy getting beat up runs away. He's fighting these two guys. One gets pushed in front of the subway car and gets killed. But like, it's not done. He doesn't purposely throw him in front of the subway car. It just kind of happens in the fight.
Yeah.
And then the other guy then all of a sudden pulls out a badge and says NYPD, gets arrested, and then Matt happens to be at the police because he's a lawyer, happens to be at the police station. He's being the White Tiger's being interrogated, so he says he's going to take on the case. I mean, it's interesting because he has a history in the comics of defending other heroes in law cases,
Hmm.
so that fits. Um, and I mean, it's interesting take. But what I want to say is this suffers from the same thing that all Marvel shows suffer from. You knew that he's White Tiger. Like, if you've read a comic, you knew he's White Tiger, right? I mean, if you've read anything about the show, like, if you went into the show blind and didn't read who was playing who, then, like, okay, maybe you didn't know he was going to be White Tiger, but I knew that. And as soon as I saw the actor, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who this is. But also, like, there's this big reveal when Cherry finds the costume in the house, but it's like, they do this whole big like reveal thing, and it's just like, yeah, but if you've ever read a comic, you know that's who that is. You know, it's I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's the thing that the MCU suffers from as a comic reader because you can't surprise me with stuff like that. You try to, but
Yeah.
but it never works, Um, I mean, what do you think? Do you feel that way when you watch some of the stuff? Because like you know who the character is going to end up being.
No, because I know that that's coming from, just previous knowledge.
Yeah,
And I know that, yeah, I'm the target audience, but in general, it's just a different universe. So you rely on your previous knowledge of the subject material at your own risk. So yeah, you knew it, but not everybody,
yeah,
probably a lot of people didn't.
yeah. True, true.
I didn't, and I still don't find it interesting. He seems about like the corniest fucking superhero I've ever seen. Talk about street level. That's like gutter level. But anyway,
Right. Well, it's a
um,
magic amulet that gives him powers. Like the strength of
see,
a tiger.
I need that little bit of exposition, even if he is a pre-existing character, because this is a different universe.
Yeah.
So, that just leaves a lot of questions for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go with his character. I mean, I don't think they're gonna. He's not gonna get convicted, even though, like, and that's
No, but why is that Punisher group after him? When I say Punisher group, like these police officers that you're talking about, like they have this like Punisher tattoo on their hand, and the Punisher's mentioned as well as Spider-Man has already been mentioned too.
right.
So
Well, I mean, um, I believe Frank shows. They that was already in the trailers. I believe Frank shows up in the next
yeah.
episode. So we'll find out. Um, but that also gets into the social commentary of the show, where it's like the idea of that there's this machine. I mean, Cherry says it, you know, there's this machine and got turned once a cop was killed, the machine got turned on. It doesn't matter if the cops were corrupt or not.
Yeah.
In this city, a cop was killed, so they want justice for the cop. So Hector's gonna go down no matter what. And it's just like, yeah, that's true. Like there is an aspect of that in our lot in the real world, right? Like if a
Oh
cop
yeah.
gets killed, it not necessarily public sentiment, but within the system, especially other cops, they're looking for justice for that their comrade that was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, you're dealing also with corrupt cops, so um, that's another interesting social commentary. And I'm going to ask a question, and it's might, and you can just say yes or no. We can leave it at that. Do you think, in some way, Fisk is a commentary on Trump?
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely.
Okay. I did feel that a little bit when I was watching it, like, oh, they're
Because of
talking
the whole
about
criminal thing, yeah,
and all the money
absolutely.
that he has, and that
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be commentary that he only won because he has money and influence and all this stuff. And I was just like, yeah, a corrupt criminal becoming the leader of some government thing. Like, I feel like, but I mean, again, this was also written and filmed a while ago, and I don't think a lot of people didn't think he was going to win again, but we'll see. It's just interesting. I want to see where they go with it. But I'll leave it at that because we don't like, we try to not get too deep into politics here. You know
Yeah.
that. Um,
Well, but one thing I do wonder is, so in She-Hulk, like this is before he banged She-Hulk, right? Because in the She-Hulk series, he had like the yellow suit, right? Am I remembering correctly? And he's like
yeah,
throwing away his red suit. So something tells me he's going to get that yellow suit or something in this season.
Again,
But I don't know.
again, there was a scene in the trailer. I think it was in the trailer. I don't remember if we saw it yet or not. Um, where he opens up like the closet where he's got his gear hidden, and there's 4 cows sitting there, different colors. There's a black one, 2 red
Mm,
ones, and the yellow one is sitting there. So no,
gotcha.
this isn't. Yeah, this is after. I'm pretty sure this is after She-Hulk. Like,
Do
um,
you think we'll get to see like Kingpin actually fight? Like I know in the last net, and I know in the Netflix series, like he went off a little bit, did some scary shit. But like, are we gonna get that classic Kingpin scene where someone's like, "Hey, fat boy," and then he's just like, "This ain't fat, dude," and then boom, fucks him up. Like, are we gonna get that? I feel like I like Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, but like I want to get that like, oh, this is why you're a badass. Like, you think we'll
I
get
think
that?
I think they have to, but the question is how physical can Vincent D'Onofrio get at this point? Because
Yeah,
I think he's in his 60s. He's in his late 50s at least, maybe his
he's
60s. Like,
he's seen
uh,
some winners. Yeah,
yeah. People forget like his first major role was Full Metal Jacket. So like
yeah.
that's a 40 plus year old movie at this point. Um so yeah, like but I mean he's still got physical in the Netflix series. I mean god, that scene where he bashes the guy's head in with the door, the
Yeah.
car door is classic. And yeah, they're going to have to I mean they already showed that he's still playing the game to manipulate people with the chief of police, um, where they had an investigator follow him, which leads me to my
What a
only
great scene, by the way.
real complaint about the first 2 episodes. As a boy born and raised in Philadelphia,
Ah,
the first thing I have to say is there is no D'Angelo's in King of Prussia. Okay.
okay,
Yeah, King of
okay.
Prussia is pretty much right outside of Philly. Like, not right outside of Philly, but it's outside of Philly. It's not far away. Um, and if you were going to meet up with someone and you didn't want people to know, yeah, that you would probably go there. Also, um,
You also wouldn't sit right in front of the big window.
well, that's true. But there is no there is an Angelo's in King of Prussia, but there's not a D'Angelo's. There is a D'Angelo's on 9th Street in Philly. So right away, like, no, sorry, but it also he did that whole thing for show, and then at the end goes disgusting sandwich talking about the cheesesteak. Screw you, Kingpin. Cheesesteaks are the best.
Cheesesteaks are the shit.
Someone needs to bash his head in with a door for dissing the cheesesteak. I don't blame
Don't
Vincent
dish
D'Onofrio.
cheese.
I blame the Kingpin. So yeah. Like I said, that's my only real complaint about the show so far is that they did that. Um,
All right. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I thought like it was weird because as soon as he said that he was from Philly, and then I realized he was eating a cheesesteak, I'm like, oh, like there's a connection here they're about to reveal. Um, so yeah, so like they're showing that he's still a manipulator. He's still the kingpin, so he just happens to be the mayor. So yeah, I think there's going to be a scene where he's forced to um fight. I want to know what's up with he got shot in the head, right? Like in was that in Echo or was that in no, that was in the other show that they introduced Echo. Um Hawkeye, the Hawkeye TV series where that's the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
Echo shoots him in the head with the gun at point blank range, right? Like they kind of made it look like he died, but obviously he didn't. He comes back, and there's even a comment like after he wins, and he's like touching his eye, touch," and they're like, "Oh, we want us to touch up your eye." And he's like, "No," and then he makes the address. So it's like, is there going to be something with that in the show? Because they talked about
Sure.
like his long recovery process.
Yeah.
They said that he was shot in the head. So like, where are we going with that?
Yep.
There is a weird underlining resurrection um, theme going on in this
Hmm.
season that we'll see if they touch on it. I mean,
Yeah.
see if they not touch on it. See if they explain it because they've already touched on it. So, um, all right, it's not to harp on it too much because we're almost at an hour, but I do have two questions. They introduced two characters who are other characters in the show in the comics. So first off, will Daniel Blade be a Martian? He is in the comic books. Daniel Blade, that's the young guy who got helped get 2,000 signatures so that Fisk could be on the ballot. In the comics, he's introduced. It's revealed he's a Martian who comes to the Earth to trick Earthlings so that they don't go to Mars, um, to protect to protect the secrets of the secret of the Martians living on Mars. I feel like in the MCU that is a stretch, but they could make him an alien. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. No, that is such a stretch. You could call it the elongated man or something like.
Hmm.
Yeah, that better not. I didn't know that. I didn't know that fucking character was in the comics,
Oh
and I
yeah.
hope to God that they don't go that way because that's just batshit fucking crazy to be in this particular world of the street level Daredevil. Which I can appreciate more being in New York City, being in Hell's Kitchen. I mean, me and you slept in a hotel room together for 3 nights in Hell's Kitchen. Like, that actually kind of makes me appreciate this that much more. Um, but yeah, no, to make that fucking character a Martian, that a scroll.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Okay,
Christopher,
that
I was thinking they could make him a scroll. Yeah.
yeah, that okay, that I could deal with. That I could deal with.
Yeah.
But to be some sort of fucking dollar store Martian manhunter, no.
Because that's the thing, right? Like, um, we've been all over the universe in the MCU, so there's no way that you could do a Martian. But we also had a TV show where it was revealed that the scrolls were embedded in the government and there was a whole resistance thing, and we got a crappy version of a super scroll in the
Yeah.
what you call it, the Secret Wars, the
Mhm.
horrible Secret Wars series. But like, they
Secret
did do
Invasion.
that. Secret Invasion series, but they did do that, and then they had the president at that time, who wasn't Ross, send people out to hunt down the scrolls. So like, they haven't touched on that since. So that would make a lot of sense. Um,
I know, but that's just dumb. That's like, like I really love bacon, right? And I really like watermelon. But if you put bacon on watermelon, I'm no longer happy.
yeah.
So don't fucking do that. Like, leave it street level, leave the writing the way it is, level headed and logical, and leave that other shit out of it. I'm so disgruntled. I did not know that this character was Daniel Blade, a Martian,
Okay. Well,
till you
then
pointed out just now.
did you know that Buck Cashman, one of Kingpin's other the other guy who like went and got the book signed and everything, he's Bullet in the comics.
No, no, we are getting into
That's a he's a it's
C
a
D list level non
he's
X
a
Men
he's a
characters.
he's one of Daredevil's rogues. Daredevil has a fairly extensive rogues gallery in the comics, and Bullet is one of them. He's like a weapons expert, and
Yeah,
knives
yeah,
and,
yeah. Lame, 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 and lame. That's what I hear. So absolutely, James Burton. Only blade I want in Daredevil is a vampire killing fool. That is absolutely correct. Now that I'd buy for $1.
yeah. Um, I think he will be Bullet at some point because uh he's going to need someone to get his hands dirty, and it's going to, slowly become him. Um, it's going to somehow tie into, obviously, I think, uh, Bullseye as well. So we shall see. Yeah, but I do think like they have him there to be a henchman for Kingpin to do the dirty work, that Fisk can't do because he's the mayor. That's
Right.
that's my guess on him. But the Daniel Blade Martian thing, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. James says leave the scrolls at home, so
Yeah.
perhaps. Um, so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a great show. I think we're
Agreed.
both loving it. Um, I love the whole storyline of the light versus the dark, the good versus the evil, what makes you good versus what makes you bad, vigilante. Like it's just so well written, and I hope they continue with all of this. Um, so, oh, James says I'd shoot off my left pinky toe for Ghost Rider, Blade, and Daredevil. Give me the Knights, goddammit. They hinted at
Is
it.
that a
What?
is that a Harlem Nights reference, James?
No, Marvel Knights. Oh my god. And the what you call it? There's another series too with those characters in it. But yeah, he's talking about the Marvel Knights stuff. When they kind of like Marvel was dying in the 90s and they let some writers come in and do some stuff, and it kind of revitalized the books for a while. So, yeah. Um yeah, they need to do that. Like Daredevil was one of the characters like they were going to get rid of, and um they got people like Kevin Smith to come in, and and a couple other writers come in and revitalize the character in this Marvel Knights series. So, all right. Well, that's it. That's all we got to say on Daredevil. We'll keep watching. Um, and that's we're at the we're at the important part of the show where we've got to ask the question there, Don.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
What did you learn tonight, or do you have any recommendations?
I learned that this Daniel Blade character is some lame fucking Martian. That's what I learned. What do I recommend though? I recommend that you stay tuned to Superhero Speak. We are hopefully going to be streaming some Marvel Rivals here soon. But I definitely recommend that you play that game and reach out to us at the show here, whichever way, whether it be on the Twitter, comment on the YouTube. If you want to squad up, I'm currently a Vanguard, my main being Magneto, of course, Venom or Captain America. So hit me up.
All right. I learned that James is a Marvel Knights fan. Nobody wants Blade to be a Martian. And oh well, and Sean asked if we'd seen the extended cut of Daredevil, because we did mention the movie at first. Um,
You.
you never saw it. The director's cut is a little bit better, but it's still not a great movie. Um, the Bullseye is such a wasted character in that movie. Um, so yeah, I will also recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media at the top of the page, the comic book reviews, and so much more. Um, I will recommend that if you haven't done so yet, you know what? I'm going to do it old school. click the subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Sunday and Wednesday nights. We're still figuring out our time slot for Wednesdays. Smash that like button. It really does help with the algorithm, gets the show out there even more. Please leave comments. That helps as well. And if you're so inclined, check out our merch store. Link is in the description below. Get yourself a Superhero Speak t-shirt. They are the best t-shirts you can buy on the internet. That is what everyone is saying, or at least that is what I have heard.
And if you buy one, you forego the possibility of Dark Dawn trapping you in a box with a gun dart named Brie Larson. So win-win for everybody.
I'm also going to recommend 2 more things. Join up. Click that join button down below because I am going to start putting out member exclusive content soon on the channel. Stuff that we normally don't talk about on the podcast. I am going to create a couple videos about, and Donna's encouraged to do the same. Maybe do a little political commentary related to comics that we try to avoid on the show, but maybe we'll delve in deeper just for members. You also get access to that members chat area on the Discord and so much more. It's really worth it. And final recommendation, get yourself familiar with the works of Omar Morales. He is a comic book writer. He has a book coming out on Comixology this month. Hold on. Sorry. It is called Major Thomas. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. Major Thomas. It launches March 25th on Comixology because he will be joining us Sunday live here on this channel at 8:30. So you're not going to want to miss that and all that other jazz. With all that said, on behalf of myself and my partner in crime, we'd like to say thank you for watching. Don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or 2. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting for? Visit our merch store. But before you click away, subscribe to our show today.